Welcome back, folks. I'm MTG Joe, and we're going to be kicking off another budget build series. So I know I had the poll on my channel to see what you wanted to see next, and Teamer Oko slightly edged out Rakdos. So that seemed to be the most popular. However, with Ban and Restricted coming up on Monday the 18th, I was a little hesitant just to put out a budget build series on a deck which could potentially have one of its pieces banned. Both from like you, the viewer, if you were going to build the deck, I don't want you to waste wild cards. And then from a content perspective, there's no sense in making a video for a deck that could potentially have an element banned. So I'm going to be doing Rakdos first. It's probably a safer bet deck to be unchecked or have anything banned. It's not really at the top of anything right now. It does put up results, but it's not like the most prevalent. I'm also wearing Rakdos colors, so figure might as well. And the non-budget version is the deck that I'm playing now at Diamond rank because it seems like everyone's playing super fast aggro, and my Golos Fires deck is just getting curb stomped. So it's good for me to kind of play this and get some more experience. So what's this deck trying to do? So Rakdos Sacrifice, Rakdos Aristocrats, Rakdos Aggro. Basically the core of the deck is around playing out cheap creatures, sacrificing them for value, and then getting death triggers to kind of go off that. So with the budget build series, just as a reminder, the first deck we play is about 10 rares, mythics combined, including whatever free cards we can from the new player experience decks. So we try to leverage off those as much as possible. For the mid-budget, we go up to about 20 rares, mythics, and then the third deck is the non-budget, where we play a fully tuned version. So the core of this deck is Cooking the Cat. What that means is Cauldron Familiar. When it enters the battlefield, you drain the opponent one, you gain a life. You can sacrifice a food token to return Cauldron Familiar from your graveyard to the battlefield with Witch's Oven. So you throw the cat in the oven. You sacrifice the cat to the oven. It dies, and then it creates a food token, which then you sack the food token to bring the cat back, rinse and repeat, and you drain the opponent. So the more ovens you have, the more you can sacrifice it each turn and drain your opponent out. We pair that with other effects to try to drain the opponent's life total. So in the 1-drop slot, we also have Footlight Fiend. When it dies, you get to ping any target, so benefits from it dying. You could direct it at a creature or at an opponent or a planeswalker. Claim the Firstborn is a useful card to steal opponent's creatures with CMC 3 or less. You can also take something like Hydroid Krasis. It's only 2 CMC, Voracious Hydra. So there's a few things we could steal, and then we can always sack it to take. So it's kind of indirect removal. We get to attack with it, then sacrifice it. 2-drop slot, we have Lazotep Reaver. Creates 2 bodies for 2 mana. So it's good to kind of go wide in that effect. 1 Orzhov Enforcer just to round up our 2-drops. It has Afterlife. When it dies, it creates a token. For the rares that we're spending on this one is Priest of Forgotten God, so it's a key towards the deck. So Priest, if we get to untap with it, you sack 2 other creatures. Any target player loses 2 life and sacrifices a creature. You add 2 black mana and draw a card. So it's kind of the engine that we sacrifice with. In the 3-drop slot, 2 free cards that we have, Midnight Reaper and Judith Scourge Diva. Midnight Reaper benefits us by sacrificing our creatures. We get to draw cards. And then Judith, whenever a non-token creature we control dies, we get to deal 1 damage to any target. It also makes our creature stronger when we attack in. Sorry, my voice is a little scratchy today. Mayhem Devil is basically the payoff for sacrificing everything. Whenever we sacrifice any permanent, it deals 1 damage to any target. That also counts when we sacrifice the food tokens, so we can direct that damage there. So you effectively get 2 sacks and 2 damage for every time we get the cat combo going. Because this is a budget version, we're not playing as many Midnight Reapers. We are playing some Light Up the Stage as card advantage. We also have Tibalt, which can shut off the opponent's life gain from, say, Hydroid Krasis. You can also make Devils that deal 1 damage when they die. So it's a way to create some tokens. And then the last 2 mythics we're spending are on Rankle, Master of Pranks. So this is a very good top end for the deck. A hasty 3/3 flyer gets over Golos. Can target planeswalkers when it comes down. And then we have a number of options. We could force discards. We can have opponents or both players draw a card, lose a life. And we can have players sacrifice creature. which is pretty much what we want to do in our deck, but it could screw up the opponent's plan. Mana base wise, we're spending 4 rares on Blood Crypts. If you don't have Blood Crypts or the full 4, you can play just some more basics. If you have Fable Passage, you can play those instead. The main deck that I play plays 4 Fabled Passage and then 2 Bloodfell Caves. You generally want your lands to come into play untapped, so we're trying to limit the amount of tapped sources because we want to curve out with this particular deck. Sideboard wise, we have, let me flip it the other way so we can see, Duress versus the control matchups, Noxious Grasps versus green based or white based, Oko, Questing Beast. We don't really block Questing Beast well with our deck. Fries versus like Teferi, kind of the Bant versions. Lava Coils versus Questing Beast, big stuff. Drill Bit versus kind of the mid-rangey control decks. It's basically Thoughtseize. Another Tibalt when life gain or just needs to, it's good against the aggro mirrors. And then 2 Revenge of the Ravens versus the Golos matchup. So that's pretty much the deck. We'll run it through some ranked matches on Diamond. Just going to give Arena a quick reset before we get started, because it's been a little bit temperamental recently. I don't want it crashing through after we just went through the deck tech. So as always, I'm live on Twitch right now. You can catch all my content on live through my streaming. If you miss any of it, you can catch any of it on my YouTube channel, usually the day after we stream. With these budget build series, I do a full write-up. I'm currently halfway through the Esper, the Dance of the Mance, Doom Foretold, Esper Stacks deck. That article will be up on aetherhub.com. You can also find all my decks that I brew on Aetherhub, budget lists, everything like that. And then finally, if you are purchasing any physical cards, I do have a TCG affiliate link that I usually include in my YouTube video descriptions. If you just follow the link, purchase your cards as normal, just lets you know that lets them know that you came from here, and it does help out the channel. So we are a cat away from an oven from going off. We can steal some of their stuff if they have it. Okay, so we can't take it yet. So Judith isn't bad. I'm gonna go, probably just go, let's see if they block the cat. They probably don't, because they have Questing Beast or something big next turn. Lazotep Reaver presents more damage with Judith coming down. So there are cards like if you have a Yara, you could throw some in here. If you have Gutter Bones, throw some in here. So it's really kind of customizable as you go along. So interesting they target that. So here I'm just going to go... I think we still go Judith here. Because if they block either of these, we can just shoot down the Wicked Wolf. So we basically want to get them into a board state where they can't really kill our creatures with the fact that they die. So I'm fine with that trade. Okay, they have a second Wicked Wolf. So this takes down the Paradise Druid at least. Or actually, we can just get rid of this. Okay, so flooding a bit. Here... Do we want to do this now? No, I'll probably save that if they have like Hydrate Crisis or something. Because we don't, if we had somewhere to sack the Paradise Druid, we'd do it. We're really just like an oven or like a Priest of the Forgotten Gods. Getting rid of 2 Fight Wolves is good. Okay, so they have Questing Beast. I'm drawing way too many lines. So we could Claim the Firstborn here. Oh, Paradise Druid's back. Well, let's Zack anyway. Attack. They block there. Just pass turn. That one life might be relevant because it takes it off a 5-turn to a 6-turn clock. Interesting that they're neither attacking nor blocking with Paradise Druid. I feel like if you do one or the other, you're at 5 mana now. This is Simic Food. Okay, so Krasis. So we can Tibalt. So we can take the Krasis. Attack in with everything. So Questing Beast does take care of the Tibalt. We do get a 1/1 at least out of it. At this point, we're pretty much dead. We didn't draw an oven early enough. And main board, we don't have a clean answer to a Questing Beast. Rankle also doesn't do much here because they have a big enough board set. Yeah. So without the sacrifice like engine, you really want like the hand with the ovens in it. So in this matchup, Noxious Grasps for sure. Lava Coils. Tibalt's not bad against Krasis, but probably too slow. The Claim of the Firstborns. Maybe shave down 1. Orzhov Enforcer is not that great in this matchup. Probably shave down the Tibalts. Like, they'll gain life off Hydrate Krasis. This doesn't really survive much against the Questing Beasts. Life stage is fine. How many lands are we playing? We might have too many. 23. Could probably cut a land down from the deck in general. I'm going to make that revision afterwards. And then kind of like everything else, maybe just get rid of 1 Footlight Fiend. Footlight's good in the matchups where you can block early, but with like Fight Wolf and stuff, it doesn't really do as much. On the play, don't have an oven, but I like having the Noxious Grasp. Midnight Reaper. Okay, we have the cat. We just need the oven. Also dodging no... So I'm going to go Judith here. Presents more damage up front, and I kind of would rather they transform Judith into... Okay, they have the fight there. In this instance too, it lets us take care of Wicked Wolf. Whereas if we just had Midnight Reaper, it wouldn't have worked. Here, let's just attack in. Just need a sacrifice effect. These claims aren't doing too much. We have an answer for Questing Beast. We have an answer for Nisa at least. Interesting, but no. Okay, so they're going to fight there. Does draw us a card, which is nice. I can take the Paradise Druid. Okay, so we have the light up the stage. So let's go with the most info possible. Let's light. And of course, just draw lands, which I don't really want. So I'm playing this one. It just gets us ahead on lands. Or gives us a point of life. We're not really hurt for color fixing right now. Okay. So let's kill Questing Beast here. Oh my god. Why are we drawing so many lands? Kind of want to save these if they... Because like we can only hit 2 damage with the Paradise Druid right now. Second Beast is bad. Lazotep Reaver doesn't really do much here. See if they want to block their Paradise Druid. So I'm going to hang on to the second one in case we draw a Priest. You can give it haste for the turn, so you can actually target your own Priest and give her haste. Noxious Grasp be good, Lava Coil be good, Oven wouldn't be too bad. They got Hydra. If they double up, that might be a way that we... See, that's interesting. You'd think maybe you double up on it. So I'll take the block there. Okay, so we got Priest. So I could steal the Voracious Hydra, but I can't sack it yet. 9, I'm also dead. Few ways over. With the trample as well. Yeah, we're dead. We're dead. Dead, dead, dead. Let me tweak the land base. We had one too many lands. Our curve's pretty low. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a mountain and you get a free Bedevil. Just because we're not playing Murderous Rider. So I'm just going to play the Bedevil. Just another way to answer Questing Beast main. Seems to be the biggest problem for the deck. Because you have these Death Touchers, you have Chump Blockers, but you don't have a clean answer to the Questing Beast. And then, like, most of the time you'll play 2 Murderous Riders sometimes, or you'll play Midnight Reaper. So at least that can block profitably. I like the Rakdos deck because even on a pretty low budget, like most of the payoff cards are commons and uncommons, like the whole Cat Engine, the Devil. Do we keep a hand on just mono 1-drops? Opponent goes for... You know what? Screw it. Let's try. Show me bird. Also have a feeling all we're going to be doing is running into Oko decks now. Turn 2 Oko. Okay, so there's probably not a way we could win at this point. It goes up too quick for what we're doing. We're too slow with that hand. Like turn 2 Oko on the play is tough to deal with. Okay, so let's bring these in. Let's bring in the Lava Coils. So this looks like food. Do we want these? Probably not. Do we want the drill bits for the bigger things? Maybe. So drill bit's basically a 1 mana. So Tibalt comes out in this matchup. Shave down a Claim. Shave down 2 Footlight Fiends. The Enforcer can usually come out. 2 more cuts. Like Bedevil, like Midnight Reaper, like that. Might just get rid of all the Footlights in this matchup. They just don't do much. We need to be able to answer their threats. At least Cat like starts looping. The 1 damage doesn't really pick off anything in this matchup. Their stuff usually, like even the Goose has 2 toughness. We're keeping because we have 2 Noxious Grasps. And it's funny how like last game we couldn't hit a land. Or like last game we just kept getting all lands. We cut 1 land from the deck going from 23 to 22. So give me a land, please. Just give me a land. Land, 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 land. Once upon a time. Okay, so they do have Voracious. Why do you forsaken me, deck on stream? Let's run it back. Let's not waste people's time. This is to demo the deck. It's to not sit when we're on 1 land. So I'm going to give Arena a quick reset so it don't crash. So what we're playing is a budget version of Rakdos Sacrifice. So basically you're looking to exploit the Cauldron Familiar, the cat with the oven to kind of loop to drain out your opponent. You have Priest of the Forgotten Gods with Mayhem Devil to kind of deal additional damage that way. The deck itself, you're really only playing 8 rares, 2 mythics and Rankle, and a couple free rares that you get from the new player experience deck. So like the Midnight Reaper, Judith, and the Bedevil. The rest of the deck is kind of aristocracy theme. We're trying to steal things from the opponent, sacrifice it that way, and then go from there. So we'll run it through again. Hopefully see a little bit better distribution of lands and spells. We've had a couple non-games here just because we haven't been able to really get the engine going. You usually want to keep, if you could play a cat in an oven in an opening hand, you usually want to keep that. Priest of the Forgotten Gods is also very good. So finally we have a Rakdos Brethren. I got my Rakdos shirt on. Okay, so opponent mulled to 5. Depending on what they come out with, I might go Footlight. Okay, so that's not bad. We'll still gain. Actually, because they mulled to 5, I'm going to attack. If they block, then I play Footlight Fiend and the Oven. I sack the Footlight Fiend, and I take this off. I want to take him off card draw. And then I could just get the cat back. So we'll do this on their end step, just in case they have sorceries to deal with it. So they have a second Crusader here. So here we're going to cast the cat. This turns on Light Up the Stage. we can steal this, attack, and then sack it. And that's basically what you want to do with the deck. So you're a creature deck that's playing somewhat aggressive. So in this matchup, I do like having the Lava Coils in and another Tibalt. It's a good blocker in this case. Coming out, Orzhov Enforcer is not bad. The Footlight Fiend's not bad. Probably can see Bedevil. 3 cards to cut. Cut an Enforcer. They're fine. I'd rather just straight removal. Maybe shave down 2 Fiends on the draw. I like Light Up Stage. I like Judith. Tibalt's a better kind of play. If they are playing, because they might have been on the Mardu Knights list or like Black-Red Knights. So if they have like Knight of Even Legion, it's 2 toughness. Like there's a couple spells that they could have different there. Let's keep. Okay, opponent didn't want to play with us. We will take the win. Wonder how bad their hand was to just auto-concede like that. Like we conceded to turn 2 Oko when we had no lands and then just a handful of cards we couldn't cast. Probably okay with this. An oven makes his hand from okay to great. So I still think we just play out in case we draw an untapped source. The way we've been drawing, we either draw all lands, no lands. I hate this card. Okay, so we see red, it can be Gruul aggro perhaps. So this is actually a good way to steal. They're not going to trade here. I'm just going to take the life gain here. So the reason I'm doing this is because next turn, if they make this big enough, I could claim it. If not, I could just play out Mayhem Devil. Okay, so this looks more like a traditional Gruul aggro list. Okay. So now we are cooking. So no attacks. What we can do is we can steal their best thing next turn, attack them, and then Witch's Oven it, and then kill their other. No blocks here. Okay, so I still think we probably just go like this. So I'm going to preemptively play this out. The reason, actually, let's hold off. Okay, well they concede. The reason I was going to do that was in case they have like shock, like some sort of damage effect, and I attacked them with the Mayhem Devil. So Noxious Grasp we want in, Lava Coils we want in. Tibalt's not a good against them because they usually have Trample. 4 cards to cut. The Enforcer is good against normal Trample decks. The Footlight Fiend against this build is probably not that bad. Could probably get rid of a couple Reavers. Maybe a Claim as well. Rankle's pretty good. I like having that in there. Shave down 1 Fiend. Just run it back like that. we can draw spells. So I'm going to go Bloodfells first. Like, double oven with Mayhem Devil is pure gas. Just deciding what I wanted to do there. If we wanted to go one. We just need something to sack to said Mayhem Devil. Okay, so they have Druid, that evolves it. So it's a little dangerous this turn because we are leaving ourselves vulnerable to Questing Beast attack. Okay, Zerta is fine. So I'm just going to set it up like this. Hold up the Noxious Grasp. Because we gain 2 life, it kind of offsets some of the damage we were taking. That could be the Questing Beast. Okay, Spellbreaker. See what they do here if they go Trample Root. Or sorry, if they go with Haste or make it a 4/4. Okay, so we are going to have to deal with one of these. Okay, so Priest isn't too bad. So the question is, I can do this. I can play Priest. I can try to light up the stage at full value. I think we just do this turn. Just trade with a Spellbreaker. That gets rid of the trample. Kind of have to draw into a couple things here. There was a play I blocked the Zerta and then sack to kill this. I only take 3 damage that way, but then they're left with 6 power on the board. Yeah, we're not doing too hot. So I think we do this. We could kind of block a turn here. The one nice thing here is I can block the Zerta, sack the Footlight Fiend to kill the Paradise Druid. But like, nah, they just Bone Crusher us. Sure. We're dead a few ways over. So here I'm just going to block. We're obviously dead to any effect that gives them... yeah. That was an awkward draw. So... I think we keep it the same. Footlight's probably... So they have the Tramplers. Lazotep's at least some bodies. They don't have too many creatures with trample that they've shown thus far. Claim of the Firstborn might be a little too cute. Let's just go up more Reavers. Just have more bodies to sack. In this matchup here, like, so Revenge of the Ravens usually comes in against like go wide decks, but because they present a lot of big bodies, so if they're dealing 3 per turn and we're only fogging one of it, it's not really winning the math. Alright, let's keep. I want to keep this entire hand. I'm probably going to put back... So we're going to keep 6. The question is, we put back Cat or Enforcer. I think we actually put back Cat here. The reason being is the Death Touch is at least a removal spell up front. Having both of these, especially because there are only one of us in our deck because of budget, are useful in terms of just trading up. Okay, so no spell on 1's good. We also have a Lava Coil to deal with whatever creature. I'd really like to see a land next turn. Okay, so they have the Questing Beast. We do have an answer for it. That Questing Beast is coming down next turn, and of course, we don't draw a land. So we're going to hit for 4 here. So it's not worth us attacking for 1 here because they do have a lot of creatures with haste. So outside of Questing Beast, we can block everything. No, that sucks. So I'm going to do this because if we draw an untapped land, I could do Rankle and it force them to sack the Questing Beast, which we don't get. So Midnight Reaper can block for a turn, so we basically take 4 damage into deal 1, draw 1. What can that be? Okay, Bone Crusher, and then follow it up with Bone Crusher. We really have not drawn well. And then this gives them a different body to... Are you kidding me? So there was a... We could attack... So I'm going to take the 4 here. And the Embercleave. Why, Magic? Well, that was unfortunate. Let me give Arena a quick reset. How was your match? Terrible. Give us lands, give us spells. Give us a fair amount of both and we'll be happy. So having like 3 Midnight Reapers does help. You draw out of it a little bit more. Also, like you do play Ayara, which you can sack some of your black creatures. So we'll run it for 1 more. Get a feel for it that way. So I made Diamond 2 days ago. So I was playing Golos Fires up to this point. So the meta is a little bit different. I'm finding it's a lot more aggressive-y slanted decks. Keep this hand. So in the dark, I usually lead off on Cat. Yeah, I still think we lead off on Cat. And then I'm going to go Priest on 2. Lazotep is actually pretty good. It gives us some bodies to sack to Priest. Okay, so they go Robber. Robber attacks in. So here, target the opponent. We will sack these two. Then we'll just play these out. Judith's actually very good for next turn. Same with Midnight Reapers. So like Midnight Reaper, Oven, Cat allows us to draw each turn. Judith can also do incidental damage. Oh, we are just going to go Mayhem Devil here. So we can deal quite a bit of damage to the opponent now. Yeah. So basically, you attack in, you drain them, all that. So we saw some Gruul's things, so same kind of notion. I don't even know why we have a rest of the sideboard. And we might need more Lava Coils. These drill bits I haven't really found a need for, so I might switch the sideboard there. Against this one, it seemed like it was the more haste slanted version. Can get rid of the claims. Get rid of the Tibalts. And one cut. Just go down like that. Cat combo with a Yara is probably my favorite interaction of the new set. Seems reasonable. Opponent goes first. So because the opponent's on the play here, I'm actually going to go Footlight Fiend first. They showed hasty 2-drops, so that way we can block and then deal the damage. So they'll probably make this a 3-3 here. So here I'm just going to go Bloodfell. Play this out. No attacks here. I'm going to take this damage, and then I'm going to play Judith out. Judith will make it so we can trade up. And if a lot of these Gruul lists are switching to have Ember Cleaves in it, we need to be mindful of controlling the board state. 3 damage is fine. We've gained 2 anyways. Well, that's actually okay in my eyes. They play that now. So no attacks here. We can try to surprise them with a Rankle. Okay, so they do attack him with the Zertas, so here I will block. Because I want to get rid of the Questing Beast. We want to take advantage this turn. Also, Gruul's generally susceptible to flyers. Here, let's get them to discard and sack. We can drop the cat. We can get them back if need be. Sacrifice Judith. Deal a damage. Rankle's really good in this deck. Okay, so they use a Lava Coil there. Let's just go wide this turn. Best draw we can have right now is an Oven. kind of wish we played this. They would have taken a damage off the Fabled Passage. That's another way when you're playing Fabled Passage in the deck, it triggers damage, so you can actually use it as a 1 damage burn spell. Come on, opponent. It's not really what we want here. Interesting. They brought in Flame Sweep against us. So I'm going to hold off the lands. We curve out at 4. Make it seem like we have more action. So opponent's done a pretty good job here. Yeah, this one's over. That turns off Rankle as well, because they have a bigger flyer. Probably bring it back. Do you want Drill Bit is the question. It seemed reasonable against some of their bigger things. Kind of light up the stage. Actually, yeah, let's just do it like that. Because if we could get in early, we can take either, like if they brought in Flame Sweep, that's something to note. Like it's a good thing that we're not seeing much Cryocarnarium. That card's very good against our deck, just exiling everything. Sure. So they kind of need an action spell on 2 to get rid of our priest. So the reason I'm doing this is they have to kill the priest, which they don't. So we can force them to sack something now. No blocks. Okay, so we can get quite a bit going here. So get him to sack there. I'm going to sack the Footlight and the Familiar. Just steal the damage there. That does get bigger. The nice thing we can do here is play that out. So I'm going to play out the Oven here. In the event they have Flame Sweep, this allows us to sack the Priest. The reason I went with this is because it has Death Touch. It can block here. They go Fabled. So that does turn them off this turn. So we do have to decide. I still think this has value. Okay, so if they're gonna attack in, then we take the trade here. They did make our line a lot easier here. Sweet. That makes everything a lot easier. So play this out. Play this out. So go to attacks first. Hit him for 1. Target the opponent. Sack both. We get to draw 3 cards now. Opponent sacks Zerta. Oh, we only draw one's... Forgot one was a token. You don't draw off the tokens. So I'm going to sack the priest to get back the Cauldron Familiar. And then that draws us a card. And then the life we lose just comes back from the fact we get Cauldron Familiar. Still think we do this. Okay, Lazotep's good. So I'm going to let this resolve. Ooh, and we have Mayhem Devil. So I think we just pass the turn here. So the reason being, we do Mayhem Devil here. Sack this. Target the opponent. We can wait on that, just in case they have a haste threat. So we can kind of play around from here now. So they have Questing Beast. So I'm going to block here. Gonna sack the token to deal a damage to the Questing Beast. Gonna bring back the Cauldron Familiar. And then drain him like that. So although we lose Mayhem, but we're really good at Magic this game. Yeah, got him. We've run into a lot of Questing Beasts this stream. Okay, so overall not too bad with the deck. Obviously taking down some of the bigger ones is a little bit of an issue. If you don't have an answer to Questing Beast, I'd probably make the revision to just add 4 Lava Coils on the side. You need answers for the Questing Beast. But that's pretty much the deck. I'll be back with the mid-budget probably in a day or so, and then we'll play the non-budget. If you want to see the non-budget, it is this list here. Currently I'm 1-0, but it's basically just adding in some Gutter Bones to get recycled value with Priest, and then some Murderous Riders, some Arias, and Midnight Reapers, Guided Passage, and then sideboard-wise just Elder Spells, Legion Zen. Sideboard I haven't really played. I played one best of one game with it so far, so likely some tweaks as we go through. Appreciate everyone who stopped by for the stream. If you missed any part of it, it'll be up on YouTube tomorrow. Thanks for swinging by, and have a good day, night, depending where you are. And thanks for stopping by.